But it's incredible that I think now Philippines is the fastest growing of the ASEAN countries.
I think in ASEAN, I think we're still the fastest growing.
Yeah, around 7-8%. But since China is also such an important market for you, how do you explain that when China now has been growing a bit slower, that you have maintained or created such an impressive growth? Because that's not the situation in the rest of the world, because the growth has been going down.
Well, it's a deliberate effort on our part, because when we look at the alarming numbers such as debt to GDP ratios in the Philippines, although I always say we are doing better than our neighbors, the numbers is 62%. It is now is still very high for us. So the strategy is to have high growth rates and to pull us out of that situation. And so we've done everything. First of all, after the pandemic, or as we came on, as the pandemic has begun to subside, the main concern were jobs. And that was one of the areas. And we concentrated on the MSMEs, the micro, medium to medium scale enterprises, micro, small, medium scale enterprises, because that comprises such a large part of our economy. And it's the same in most ASEAN countries. And I think that's where the growth is coming from. So we were always very worried that of the talk that we were hearing on the forecasts on the international economies of different countries. And we kept hearing, especially later last year, we kept hearing about a recession that would be coming. So we kept looking very closely at our unemployment rate, which is now running at 4.2%, and this is coming down. And in fact, our unemployment rate now is lower than it was before the pandemic. So we estimate that we have created about 2 million jobs since then. So as long as in my theory, my belief, and I think I'm right in that, is that as long as the unemployment rate stays low, then the recessionary forces are something that we can resist. And so that's why I think that gives a good foundation for growth. But
what are the key growth areas?
Well, we have. Let me talk about the areas that did well during the lockdowns, the strict lockdowns in the pandemic, the past 2 years. One of the businesses that was business processing, the BPOs, that kept going simply because of the nature of the technology. People could work from home. The other area that has been very active and continues to grow is mining. That side of that part of the economy. We have been a traditional exporter, manufacturer and exporter of semiconductor products, of chips, and that continues to be an important factor. But the Philippines also has a very specific advantage in that we have approximately 10 million, maybe more, overseas workers that are working all over the world and who remit to their families, so that who remit money to their families. And that has been, in the times of real difficulty for the economy, that has really been a buffer for us. The remittances now comprise about 9% already of what the government is using to fuel this growth.
Thank you for watching Politico TV. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more videos.